Hello once again everybody, Amadeus here with a quick starting tip that is, I'm playing as Chimera, but this will help you out regardless of whether you're playing US or Chimera. So, and this is about early game. Early game, you want to send your recon unit around to find the nearby resource plots. But you also want to try and deploy a refinery for each of your oil and aluminum base at your starting area, as well as deploy a barracks. Now, you don't have to do this. This isn't a particular strategy, but this is a relatively safe opening that doesn't overspend your starting resources and gets your economy into a good shape. What you do from here is kind of up to you. If you want to be aggressive, then at this point you would probably start deploying units to attack your enemy, but usually what I do first is you fill up at least one of your nearby banks with soldiers, and you want to also set up your early game refineries. For the US, you only really need to build one of the transport vehicles because they have a higher capacity, but for the Chimera, generally want to have at least 2 or 3, and then if you do the full extraction protocol upgrade, you can add a 4th one. Other than that, I don't want to get into too much detail about strategies or build orders yet because the game is still very new. It's way too early to do that. Plenty of stuff is still going to be subject to change as balance and things change and as different players of different skills start figuring out other tactics. But this is a pretty safe opening and will get you set up early on. You don't want to overbuild. If you build too many things, you're going to stall your economy and it's just going to put you behind. But from this point, you have to make the decision on whether or not you're going to go for some early aggression. If you are, you're going to start dedicating your early game resources to deploying stuff like the support bay, or for the US, the light vehicles factory, in order to start moving infantry around or getting some vehicles to start harassing your opponent. But if you want to have a stronger economy, then you're going to have to sacrifice some early game units and some early game military power for economic power in the form of more refineries. And that's really what this game comes down to. Another thing that will help you in the beginning is the stuff that I outlined. Once you get good at it, you'll be able to do it quickly, and the quicker you do it, the better chance you have of getting ahead of your opponent. But that's all I really have for now. There's not much to this, and again, I don't want to go into huge details right now. I don't want to go through build orders or strategy guides because there's not much to do that with yet. I don't have enough experience. Nobody has enough experience yet to really do that, because right now what it really comes down to is players. If you play against somebody who just can play more efficiently and play faster, regardless of what type of tactic you use, you're going to lose to someone who can play a little bit better. Player skill is going to play a huge factor in this. So it's not just the balance of the game, you also have to think about the balance between you and your opponent. Some people are just going to be able to play better, and some people are going to need a little time before they can play well. So I don't want to talk in depth about strategies right now because there's a lot of variables floating around, and I don't want to give out a tactic or something that ends up not being viable later on. I want the information that I provide to be viable for the entire lifetime of the game. I want it to be good, useful information that even months from now, if people come to the channel, they can go, okay, yeah, that's some good information, and it's still relevant. So that's all I have to say. You gotta start out early game. You don't want to build too much, but at the same time, I've been sitting here doing nothing, and you can see I have resources pooling up. You gotta find a balance. You want to be spending your resources consistently enough that you're doing something, whether it's expanding your economy or building units, but you don't want to do so much that you're overspending and buying too many things that you don't need. Like if you build a ton of production facilities early on, they're not going to do you any good if you don't have the money to produce units from them. Anyways, I hope this helps some of you guys figure out your early game and get started a little bit more, but ultimately, you guys got to experiment, figure out some strategies, get some practice in, and just play the game. You will get better with time, I promise. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you guys learned something from all this. Go ahead and hit subscribe to stay in tune with my channel, keep up with updates, and keep an eye out for future videos. My name is Amadeus, and I will see you next time.